I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
The tit, the most unassuming of bird species. The tit is from a large family of small passerine birds which mainly occur in the northern hemisphere. Members of this family are commonly referred to as tits throughout much of the English-speaking world. These birds are mainly small, stocky, woodland species. Some have crests or beards. Just like another animal, the Alba commune pine, they range from 4 to 8 inches. Many species live around human habitation and come readily for nuts or seed, and learn to take other foods. This message was presented by the DeWeather Institute for Climate Knowledge. The DeWeather Cares Knights Tits Kickball Tournament is coming this October and benefits 4 cancer-related charities. See DeWeather Center on Facebook for more information.
Have you joined the fastest growing fantasy motorsports app yet? On Grid Rival, you can join leagues with your friends and manage your own fantasy team on what race fans are calling, hands down, the best fantasy motorsport app out there. F1 and MotoGP leagues are now live for the 2021 season. Joining a league on Grid Rival will make every race more exciting, more engaging, and of course, more competitive. Download Grid Rival now on your iPhone or Android smartphone. Grid Rival is an unofficial application and not associated with Formula One, MotoGP, or any of their athletes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Germany. The Nürburgring Nordschleife lying ahead for the competitors in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you joining us this evening. Joining the booth tonight by Mr. James Watson, as always, Mr. James Watson, and Wes Shire joining us in the booth here this evening as well. And James, this has been the Greg Seitz show all season long. Are we expecting anything different here tonight? Well, I guess so, because it doesn't look like Greg's entered in the race.
That, and we have a lot of high-rating guys that we honestly have never seen before. So we're probably going to be sitting here watching these guys kick butt and dominate, be like, where have they been?
Yes, this is one of those races that has qualifications that takes place outside of the race server. So only a warm-up session on offer here. And Wes, this place is incredibly long, very complex, truly the most unique challenge in all of motorsports.
You are not wrong about that. Many, many miles of twisty German roads, high-speed sections, tight, high-banked curves at the carousel and the mini carousel. This is going to be fascinating.
Yes, that's one way of putting it for sure here. You'll see that the top left corner of your screen says practice. Nobody's gotten a lap in yet. That's part of the reason that we don't have any lap times up here. What a fantastic shot through that carousel. As we follow along here with Everett Paddock. And like you mentioned here, James, a lot of names that we're not necessarily familiar with, but quite a few that have really impressed us at various points throughout the season. Mike Holler is in this race, Mitch Green, Frank Wynn, J.W. Miller, and of course the guy we're following along with here, Everett Paddock.
Yeah, this might be one of the most stacked PM18 SOFs we've seen. I'm really looking forward to see how this actually shapes up. We even have another Alex Van de Sant sighting.
Yeah, that's one of those names that I was kind of looking at as guys that we don't see a ton of. We've seen quite a bit of Andy Corsa here late in the season, Simon Fell, but guys that have been towards the middle of the field in terms of the number plate on the car, which is assigned by your iRating. We're used to seeing those guys in the 7, 8, 9, 10 range. You're seeing Simon Fell with a 15 number plate on that car, and Wes, that just kind of goes to show. I mean, we know Simon very well. There's a lot of talent here that is going to be very, very deep in this field.
Oh yeah, we have some really high iRating guys, upwards of 6,000 iRating. Even the slow guys in this field, theoretically, are well above average in terms of their iRating.
Yeah, there is a whole lot to look forward to here coming up, and let's get you a look. Let's see. Trying to decide which camera we want to use for the lineups here. We'll pick up the yeah, my goodness, the chopper cab. Get to the chopper. Here is the starting grid for tonight's race. Julian Dunn out of the Australia and New Zealand region, going to be your pole sitter with a pole time of 6 minutes, 23.157 seconds. Everett Paddock, 1.8 seconds back. Ordinarily, you'd go, my goodness, how is he so far ahead? At 1.8 seconds is not a ton of time here at the Nürburgring. Benjamin Kopke and Frankie D on row number 2. J.W. Miller, Frank Wynn on row 3. Those are the only 6 cars that set a time in qualifications. Mitch Green and Alex Van de Sant on row number 4. Row 5 is going to see Mike Holler and Dan Smith. Jason Owens, Armando Edwards on row number 6. Andy Corsa and Adam Kolsar on row 7. Row 8 going to have Simon Fell and Jeremy Littleton. Andy Corsa, Jason Owens electing to start from the pit lane. Michael Reiskamp going to be the car that starts at the back of the field here, scheduled for row number 17. 5 laps the distance. Only 5. Wes, how long is this place technically?
Technically speaking, and I'm going to give this to you in science units because it's marginally more accurate, 22.81 kilometers. So we're looking at just over 100-kilometer race, round about 60 miles or so.
And I believe the number is 154 corners that we're going to see here tonight.
That sounds about right. You know, you sort of lose track after the first 15.
Yes, that is exactly right. So, as always, race fans, we're not going to do this the whole way around, but the start of this one, as they come off the final corner, start of this race is going to be all yours. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but everybody has been clean to this point. Julian Dunn out to the early race lead. We'll show you the gaps here, and they are going to spread out in a big-time hurry here, but we will see battles throughout the field here. How about Armando Edwards, Dan Smith battling for the 10th position? Mike Holler just up ahead.
Ooh, this is starting to become an interesting little battle here. 4 cars under a blanket.
Yeah, this is one of those that we're going to see some pretty intense stuff here, and we've got to fight for the race lead as they're going to come right up over your shoulder and into your living room. Julian Dunn holding on to a lead of about a half second over Everett Paddock. Our buddy Mike McCullen checking in on Twitch saying, this is going to be a delightful mess. You know what? We haven't seen the mess yet. That's the interesting part here. Couple of spots swapping hands here. We'll slide back, pick up Mitch Green and J.W. Miller.
In that beautiful paint scheme. That's the closest that car has ever been to Mitch Green, unfortunately.
Yeah, some people call that beautiful. Frank Wynn, Alex Van de Sant also going to be battling. That fight's getting tighter just behind these guys. That total group here, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the racetrack.
Julian Dunn up the front of the field pushing really hard. Just picked up a little off track there. Lost about 5 car lengths, but still maintaining the lead.
And growing it. Wow, look at that.
Yep. That's what happens when you're good, you know? You can make a mistake and still ball away.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi, no.
Poor Graham. He's stuck in a booth with 2 nerds. What's he gonna do?
I'll sit back and listen to you guys. Ziggy checking in here saying a lot of corners, but once you learn it, there is a flow. And even an oval guy like me that can only count to 4 always knows what's next. I am calling shenanigans on that. I have tried many, many times. And I think I've gotten, and this is no joke, I think I've completed 2 complete circuits of the Nürburgring without wadding it up somewhere. It goes to show, though, that this place is, it's difficult, but you really can start to get a rhythm here. And Wes, you've talked about it before. A lot of the back half of the race course is pretty much full throttle.
It's really the first kind of 2/3 where it's full throttle sections punctuated by just huge brake zones. The back third of the course really is where things get really, really tight and twisty. And we should be getting to just about that part now. We have Julian Dunn coming up out of the carousel around to Hoa Oct. Getting into the fun bit. One mistake through here will cost you not just your spot, but likely the race. Walls are close, curbs are high, turns are fast and completely unforgiving.
And the speeds are high, too. So if you make a mistake, you bounce off the wall. You're a pinball just bouncing all over the place. And usually you're probably taken with you depending on how close you actually are to someone else.
Benjamin Kopke getting a little bit close in here on Everett Paddock. And that fight, we'll pick it up if it develops. But how about this one? This is going to be Armando Edwards, Adam Kolsar, Dan Smith, and Jeremy Littleton, all within about 3/4 of a second of each other. And they're not that far off from Mike Holler. It says it's 3 seconds up the road, but, I mean, one tiny little bobble as Kolsar going to take a peek here on Edwards. That's probably the biggest thing, I would imagine, in trying to get a pass completed here. It's more about kind of peek, show your nose a little bit, more than stuff it in, and you're really kind of waiting for them to make a mistake.
Yeah, right here, pretty much 90% of the track, you're not really going to be able to make a move. That's the thing. You have to wait for someone else to screw up. Or you just have to completely put your nads on the table and just go for it. But that likely ends up turning, well, both cars.
Oh, one car going off course here. Daniel Smith getting it off, bouncing it off the Armco barrier. Oh, he's going to spin. Huge wreck. Taking out Simon Fell in the process. Excuse me, that's Michael Reiskamp and Dan Smith, both going to be pit side. Oh, man, what an ugly, ugly incident there. We'll get you a Hot Shoe Racewear replay on that one in just a moment, but Alex Van de Sant, Frank Wynn going to be battling, and Mike Holler's right in that party as well. We'll back up here, get you that Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay, show you this incident. There's the 10 going off track. Little bit of contact with the outside Armco barrier. Trying to get back on the racetrack. Car snaps around, and Mike Reiskamp had absolutely nowhere to go at the back of the field.
It just looked like Dan tried to get back on it a little too soon before the car was right back on the track, and it just went and just killed Reiskamp. Innocent bystander of the highest order.
Like I said, those curbs are high. You don't even want to touch them in a GT car, let alone something low-slung BM18. My guess is bottomed out the car and diff locked up on him, and you know, when suddenly only one tire is spinning, yeah, you're not going to have a good time.
Alex Van de Sant was very close to J.W. Miller. Now back to about a third of a second here. Mike Holler's still in that one as well. Man, I tell you what, fantastic camera work tonight by Connor Baldwin. Well done, sir. Oh, trouble for J.W. Miller. He's off the race course, bangs it into the outside Armco barrier, tears the left front off, and he's going to have to head back to the pit lane.
It looked like that was into the brake zone for Armberg. It's an easy place to get it wrong. Going real fast, cars just unloaded, coming through the left-hander just before it.
I don't want to watch this replay.
I'll spare you the details, but don't look.
Battle for the second position ongoing here. Everett Paddock and Benjamin Kopke. We're used to seeing Paddock chasing down Greg Seitz and Julian Dunn absolutely dropping a hammer here. And I would imagine this is one of those weeks where if you're a so-called ring specialist or a ringer, whatever you want to call them, they're going to run almost whatever car class they can just to run the car around the ring.
A ringer ringing in the dominant.
What he said. At least you crack yourself up. That's a fantastic part of this here.
Someone has to laugh at my jokes.
So, yes, we have, answering Mike McCullen here, we have seen a little bit of carnage. Connor Baldwin giving himself some love in the comments as well here. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. Let us know where you're watching from here. Leave us a comment. We try to show as many of those on the air as we possibly can. Adam Colasar, Armando Edwards, Jeremy Littleton, three guys that we have not seen this season on the broadcast. Currently running 10th, 11th, and 12th, but within, we'll say half a second. How about side by side now down the straightaway?
Gonna want to sort that out real soon.
Oh, there it is. Big into the wall.
You do not go through Courage too wide. In these cars, that's just a slight lift, maybe a downshift going up the hill. And if you get that wrong at all on entry, too wide, you're in a wall. And, well, look what we have here.
The consequences of my own act.
Yeah.
This battle back at the front is getting good as well. About 2/3 of the way through lap number 2 for these cars. Julian Dunn out to an almost 5-second lead, as Jeremy Littleton has to take the tow into the pits as well. Give a little love to our guy Jason Owens here. An oval guy who's getting the craft better on the road courses. But this has to be absolutely terrifying for Jason running this thing. Currently running a lap down, but he's keeping it clean. And quite frankly, that may be all you need to do to earn a pretty decent finish here tonight. Tight battle for second between Paddock and Kopke. You can almost hear the cars unloading on exit. They really, you can hear the RPMs pick up in the whine a little bit. How does that affect what you're doing as a driver? Can you feel that in the car? Obviously, you can hear it, but is that a sign of I'm losing traction? I'm doing, something's going good or bad?
You can absolutely feel that coming out of the carousels. If you do it right, the car really, really hooks up kind of before, and whether you just give it a little breathe of the throttle, just a little bit opposite lock, nothing. Like, if you do it right, it really doesn't upset the car too badly. It's when you get it wrong where you really, really feel it, and it's so, so easy to do.
Kopke thought about making a big move there on Everett Paddock. Tucks back in, thinks better of it here towards the end of lap number 2. Pick up 7th place running Mike Holler here is Valerie checking into the comments. Watching from Chicago, 1 floor above Holler. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate you hanging out with us here. Let's give you a little on-board action here with Mike Holler. Oh, 1 car. Wow.
Oh.
Whoa. Yeah, that was Alex Van de Sant. Pull this one back out here. We've had a couple of incidents. Pick up Armando Edwards here. He had an issue. This was that battle back there for about the 10th position.
Oh.
Same thing. You just can't go too wide through some of these places. Now let's get Alex Van de Sant. This is, I believe, right down into turn 1.
Yeah, just got in a little bit too deep, caught the curve really way before he should have exited. He was just in there way too deep. All in all, if you're going to have a wreck at the ring, that's the one you want to have.
Yeah, Holler needs a new race suit. Seeing more of the comments coming in here. Matt Wagner saying, this track scares me. I usually bin it here. It's James Watson's fault usually. Yeah, that kind of sounds about right. Ziggy checking in saying, everywhere is a passing opportunity. Dale Earnhardt. Connor Baldwin saying, thankfully with no cautions, you can't Watts spin.
Yes.
Yes, there is
Thank
something
you,
to be
everyone.
said for that.
I love you all too. Yes, Everyone's a comedian.
Now, fans, play nice.
Ziggy says they're on special events withdrawal. Don't count on it, Connor. Yes, coming up next Monday night. Well, I guess this coming Monday night, Labor Day, Crownhurst, which is going to be Jumpy Trucks and Silver Crowns running Bathurst. Is this our best worst idea yet, or are we going to be somewhere shy of? It's going to be tough to beat Briss Mons and the Vintage Indy.
I mean, we say that every month, and we always find some sort of stupidity to top it. So,
Well, we should have the jump at the bottom of the Conrad Straight in full effect. So, can it be all that bad?
Yes, actually, in fact, we have special cameras that have been designed just to capture the jumps off the end of the Conrad Straight. So, yes, that one is, we're looking forward to it. This battle here is the closest one on the racetrack by a margin of about 2 seconds. Everett Paddock holding on to a 7/10 of a second lead over Benjamin Kopke in the battle for the second position. You can see Mitch Green about 2 seconds back there. You saw him right at the tail end of that last shot. Halfway through lap number 3, so I guess we could call this the halfway point of the race. Man, that was a big dive in by Kopke into that set of corners, and he is tucked right back up under the rear wing of Paddock. That might be one of my favorite cameras that we've designed yet. Outside of the kink at Road America was pretty spectacular. Through Eau Rouge at Spa, that one was pretty good. But I'll tell you what, right there in the middle of the carousel, oh, that is stunning. Well done, Connor. It's interesting to watch how the gap will kind of expand out, shrink in, expand out, shrink in. Is that just possibly being more comfortable with certain sections of the race course?
Well, it could be. However, our leader Julian Dunn has just done the YouTube corner thing at YouTube corner and gone off the end of the track, pod back on. No major dramas, but you can say he's not hanging around. He's pushing hard. Yeah, let's get you the replay here. Yes, that's exactly it. Soft little Just
off track.
Nice and straight. Don't upset the car. Just let it do what it wants.
Seeing trouble once again here for Alex Van de Sant. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay on this one. Yep, there it is again, Wes. Like you talked about. Right up on top of the curbs. That's about the kind of wreck you want to have at the ring, though.
Yeah, those curves are a lot bigger than you think. These cars, you're looking at, 3/4 of an inch front ride height, and maybe about an inch rear ride height, give or take. Those curbs are the better part of a foot tall. They're halfway up the front tires. Like if you get up on there, you're bottoming that car out, and you're completely losing control. There's really nothing you can do.
Here's Kopke taking a peek on Paddock down one of the longer straights here at the Nürburgring. He's going to suck right up in the draft, take the peek out to the inside. Up under the Bilstein Bridge. This is one of those spots you probably could run fairly close to side by side. Oh, big time trouble! Netcode contact, Everett Paddock. Oh, man, that was brutal for Everett Paddock. Looks like the car might be okay.
And if it's not, he's got a whole lap to do. That was right at pit end.
That was one of the weirdest netcode accidents. Oh, it's not okay. That is one of the weirdest netcode accidents I have ever seen. He was just sliding to the side like he was grinding on the curve, like he was grinding a rail on the skateboard. It was absolutely amazing to watch.
We have seen some connection issues for Everett over the course of the race here tonight, and really that could be all that it takes to really get that car in bad shape.
I think Alex Van de Sant finally pushed his luck a little too hard. I think the third time was the charm.
Here's the spin. Oh, and he's going to get a hold. I believe that was Frankie D that made contact. Yes, it was. So now Everett Paddock going to be out of the race here, and Frankie D may have gotten a piece of the action on that one. take a look here and see what happened. Here's Everett Paddock going off the racetrack. There's the spin, little bit of contact, and yeah, D hit that outside concrete barrier. So that's going to promote Mitch Green up to the 3rd position. Give you the rundown of who's in and who's out here. Daniel Smith, Jeremy Littleton, Armando Edwards, J.W. Miller, Mike Ricecamp, and Alex Van de Sande. Also Everett Paddock out of the race. That's going to move Jason Owens up to the 10th position, the final car running on the racetrack. 2 minutes and 6 seconds behind your race leader, but still on the lead lap. Andy Corsa runs 9th, Simon Fell 8th, Adam Kolsar 7th, Frank Wynn in the 6th position. 5th going to belong to Mike Holler, Frankie D in 4th, but that car may be damaged. Following along here with Mitch Green, he currently resides in the 3rd position. He's up 4 spots from the drop of the green flag this evening. There's current runner-up, Benjamin Kopke. And we haven't shown him a ton, but here is race leader Julian Dunn, working lap number 4 of 5 with a 10-second lead over Kopke.
And just jumping back a little bit, looks like Alex Van de Sande is out of the race. It looks like he took a pit stop at the beginning of lap 4, took new tires, new front wing, and then on the out lap, first couple of corners in Hotzenbach, pushed a little bit too hard, understeered, caught a curb, and that led straight to a wall.
Yeah, we can get you a Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay on this one. Yep, there it is. A little bit too much. Oh, yeah, big contact with the Armco barrier there. So he takes the jump back to the pit area. We haven't gotten to show this tonight here yet. Let's give you the weather conditions presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. 79-degree ambient temperature. 53% humidity. Wind's going to be out of the north at 2 miles an hour. 82-degree track temperature. Nothing too insane here at the ring this evening. Probably the last place you would want to see some crazy kind of hot track temperature or something, I would imagine. Hot and slick is not a fun way to get around this place. Man, Dunn almost put it off on the exit curbs there. Dunn has the fastest lap of the race, 6 minutes, 24.28 seconds. Seeing trouble on the racetrack for Michael Ricecamp. He was running back into 13th position. Still hasn't completed a lap here this evening. Matt Wagner saying, used to live in eastern Pennsylvania, out in Collegeville. Not too far from me. Yeah, they got pretty well wrecked last night in these big storms as well. I'll tell you what here, guys. Seeing Julian Dunn really letting this car hang out. As much as this place is a rhythm track, I would imagine if you try to slow down at all, it probably can take you out of that rhythm pretty quickly.
Absolutely, especially around that latter half of the course, from really the carousel down to the Dottinger Hill. It's just, if you miss one apex there, you're out of it for the rest of it, and you just kind of hope you can find your way back in.
Trouble for Benjamin Kopke. He was running in the 2nd position. Into the carousel. A little bit too quick on throttle application. That car snaps around, and there you see Mitch Green going past. He's going to overtake for the 2nd position. You wonder, was that enough? Oh, yeah, you can see the right front on that car.
Oh.
Way towed out. So Kopke may have to make a pit stop here. Could promote Frankie D up into a podium position.
Good news for him is he's only got a big old straight to go and a couple of fairly easy to navigate corners. But yeah, it's so easy to get it wrong out of the Clinus carousel. It's just, It's way less smooth than it looks, and it already looks rough.
So let's see if Kopke's going to have to come into the pits here, as he is just completing his lap, and he does not make the entry into pit lane. So white flag is out, 1 lap to go. Pick up your race leader, Julian Dunn. The lead 15 seconds over Mitch Green. Another 15 seconds back to Kopke. Let's pick up this battle, though, because Frankie D may be able to get past here one way or the other. Well, he's about 10 seconds back here, so we'll see how quickly that gap... It is shrinking pretty quickly here. That's one of the fun things about calling a race at the Nürburgring, though. Ordinarily on a road course, you're like, oh, man, we got to get back to the leader. You don't want to miss it. We got another 4 minutes or so, 5 minutes, before the race leader is going to be back to take the checkered flag.
How is Kopke still going? Like, I'm watching his... How? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Battle for the 4th position, Frankie D, Mike Holler. Mike McCullen, big brain strategy from Jason Owens to work his way into the top 10. Yeah, that's a big iRating gain. When you consider how stacked this field is Holler taking a peek, and he is easily going to come around Frankie D. And they're only about 4 seconds back of Benjamin Kopke. Still
Yeah,
2/3 of the lap to go for Dunn.
Yeah, it's not going to take them that long. I mean, Kopke's front wheels are out there pointed out like it's Chaplin taking a walk, Charlie Chaplin taking a walk down a hallway, so podium is definitely on offer.
And here comes that pass. Yep.
He's going to pull off to the side. I was going to say they had no trouble getting through.
But now this is a battle for a podium spot. And actually another good battle here. Frank Wynn and Adam Colasar. This seems like this is 2 seasons in a row now. We've called these races. And it seems like somewhere on the last lap, we've got a great battle or two. I don't know how, because the Nürburgring should not be fun. It's not a racetrack to me. It's a driving track. It's a circuit, but it's not a place you think of and go, we're going to get a great race out of this. Sliding back up here to Mike Holler and Frankie D. Holler able to hold on to that gap by about 4 car lengths or so. Race leader Julian Dunn just past the halfway point of this final lap of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Oh, in trouble for D. Frankie D got off the race course. Take a look here, see if we can give you a little bit different look at that one. Oh, just missed the entry point of the corner there. Able to keep it in line, but that's going to all but guarantee Mike Holler a podium position here. Frank Wynn and Adam Colasar able to get around D. So this will be the fight for the 4th position. Let's pick up your race leader here as he works his final circuit. Oh, big off track.
He may have a 17-second lead, but he is not slowing down.
Yeah.
However, here's the easy part of the track for him, really for everyone. The Duttingahura, nice roundabout mile and a bit straight, up over a hill, and then just a couple of corners left.
Make that run up the hill. Get up under the Bilstein Bridge, and like you mentioned here, Wes, just a couple of corners left to go. I would imagine completing a race at the Nürburgring feels like an accomplishment. Getting a win in this kind of strength of field race, that's got to feel pretty darn good.
Oh, absolutely.
Through the final corner, down across the start-finish line, checkered flag is in the air, and Julian Dunn picks up the win here at the Nürburgring. Pick up Mitch Green as he's going to finish his final lap. And a well-earned second position there for Mitch Green. Here's Mike Holler just coming around to complete his lap. That battle between Kolsar and Wynn is side by side, so we're going to pick it up here. We'll get back to Mike Holler if, well, quite frankly, something happens to him.
Gonna have one more shot for an overtake here.
Oh, gutsy pass on the outside. Carries a ton of speed into the corner. Fantastic late pass there. Adam Kolsar picking up fourth. Frank Wynn going to come home in the fifth position. Couple of wounded race cars here battling for sixth. Benjamin Kopke and Frankie D. Kopke making a pass with a right front tire that's, well, I don't.
Of its own by
I was going to say it doesn't want to be attached at this point, but nice.
And same thing for Frankie D too. Between the two of them, if you put their cars together, they have one working car.
Yeah. Here's Simon Fell just coming across the line. He's going to finish in the 8th position. How about it? An on-track pass for Jason Owens. Going to put him up into the 9th position. And we're showing you all these drivers because, well, quite frankly, we don't have results that we can show you yet as we wait for them to complete their laps. Almost sounds like you can hear Owen's car bottoming out just a little bit. He'll make that final right-hand corner, and Jason Owens comes across the line to complete his race. Good finish back there in the 9th position, and here's Andy Corsa limping that machine back. That right front is even worse than the two we saw before here. Looks like Andy Corsa is going to be able to limp that car back, though. Fantastic drive, Andy.
No, that's a Nürburgring car.
I say that's an accomplishment is what that is.
and you look at that and you think, oh man, he's going so slow when having just spent the last 45 minutes watching all the other guys. He's still doing 120 miles an hour here with 3 wheels on his car.
Nut up and ball out is what I've heard it called before. Going to make that last run up the hill. He'll come under the Bilstein Bridge for the final time. One more right-hander, and that'll be all she wrote for Andy Corsa. Hopefully he's able to make his way through that final corner.
He got at 126 at the end of the entry to Tiergarten there. Just absolutely incredible.
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's get you your race results here, as I think just about everybody is now out of the session here. Julian Dunn going to be your race winner by 16 seconds over Mitch Green. Mike Holler will round out the podium. Adam Colasar, Frank Wynn, your top 5. Benjamin Kopke, Frankie D. Simon Fell, Jason Owens, Andy Corsa, the final car to finish, and he finishes on the lead lap. Everett Paddock, 2 laps down, along with Alex Van de Sant and Michael Ricecamp. Jeremy Littleton, 3 laps down in the 14th position. J.W. Miller and Armando Edwards going to be 4 laps down. Daniel Smith did not get a lap in the books here this evening at the Nürburgring. Get the cameras keyed up here, and well, we'll start the interviews here. We'll see who else is going to come and check in. But let's bring in Mr. Mike Holler, and I'll tell you what, Mike, not a bad run out there tonight for your number 8 machine.
No, it was all right. I was pretty pleased with how that went. I can't even remember. Did I start 8th?
9th. I am seeing a gain of
9th.
6 for you tonight here. So yeah, good run.
Yeah, no, that was a really good time. I just tried to keep it together, make sure I didn't go off track, make sure I didn't get wing damage, and then as happens at this track, it kind of comes to you at the end if you do that, I've found. So I was putting in pace trying to catch Frankie, but yeah, once it was clear he had damage, I just backed off just a little bit, and then I was just trying to preserve the position. I really didn't expect a podium. I forgot to qualify, so.
Yeah, we only had about 6 cars that did qualify, and does that kind of play into things a little bit where you're going to be starting behind some people who may have just gotten a lap in for the sake of getting a lap in?
Yeah, it goes into mine for sure. I was pretty cautious on the start, made sure to only pass people on straights or do sure thing type moves there. I did get someone, I think, into just before Flugplatz that felt a little close on, I think, the second lap. But other than that, tried to keep it clean while I was passing people. It's so hard you don't know who qualified and who didn't, and who was there on pace versus who was there on iRating. And I had to take some time behind each person to really read them to make sure I knew what they were doing.
We had a comment about the big brain strategy that Jason Owens made by starting from the pits. It sounds like a whole lot of big brain stuff going on throughout the field here, being sure of who you're running against and only making that pass you can be confident in making. Yeah,
no, that's absolutely it, and it's fun to come here. It's I had to dust the memory off a little bit, but it's once you do a 24-hour endurance race here, you don't really forget it.
Yeah, I would imagine that's one way to do it. So, Mike, congratulations on a very nice podium finish and pretty good darn points finish here for you as well. Not a bad season overall, so congratulations on that as well.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really happy with how that ended up. Really pleased with everything, and want to thank everyone who turned up for this race. We had a lot of people. I think the ring brings it, but we also had a lot of regulars there. That was good to see. I hope that continues into next season as well. Thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast again the whole season. Hopefully that continues again next season. And thanking my fiance, Citizens Climate Lobby as usual, and giving some thoughts out to people affected by Ida as well, because that's obviously a very, very challenging thing we're going through right now. And I hope everyone's able to recover quickly.
Well, thank you very much for that, Michael. We appreciate it. And let's bring in Jason Owens here since quite frankly, we don't have anybody else to talk to. So we'll talk to Jason Owens. You started from the pit lane. Mike McCullen called it a big brain strategy to get into the top 10, and not a bad run there coming home in ninth.
Oh, man, you don't know how mad I am because I had about a mile to go to have 0x, all 5 laps clean, run my race, be the little engine that could, just choo-choo-choos all the way across the finish line, and I dropped a wheel off and got a dumb 1x. But, guys, anytime I can get positive SR and I rating on a road course, that's a win for me. So, like, I'll get my little participation trophy, finished all 5 laps, clean car, no damage. I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah, that's. I would imagine that was probably the thought going into it, was survive and see where it puts you. And, well, quite frankly, it put you ahead of some pretty big names here. Andy Corsa, obviously, you passed him on the last lap. Everett Paddock made a very nice iRating donation. So did Alex Van de Sant, J.W. Miller. There's some pretty good road course guys out here that you finished ahead of.
Yeah, I just caught the replay of the netcode that torpedoed Everett, and that's so unfortunate. You know, that's just brutal. Jeez, I don't know what to say about that other than we're back here for another 12 weeks in Season 4 right here on the National Racing Network, right? How exciting is that going to be? Week 1, Hungaroring, same bat place, same bat channel, same bat time. We're going to do this thing.
Hopefully not the same place, because that I'm looking forward to seeing races at the Hungaroring. That is for sure. And yeah, doing another 12 weeks of that. And while you're doing the promos here, how about the Tuesday night rock block we got coming up? We're doing double shots all night long.
Maybe even triple shots when you throw in the free Vs. But yeah, we got Tuesday night rock block, 8 to 11-ish p.m. Eastern time. Tuesday nights, obviously Tuesday Night Thunder. You know, last couple seasons we've had the PM18 All Oval Series, but this time we're coming back with a triple shot of open wheel action. We got free Vs, free car, free content, free entry. Drivers are going to be out there having a blast. Hopefully it's some of these guys' first introduction to league racing. We've got West Shire running the you guys
USF
are
2000.
No, I know it's USF
series.
2000. Bolt,
Yeah.
Bolt, Shock, whatever, Thunder.
Big Smooth.
Lightning, Big Smooth, yeah. So we're going to be there Tuesday night. Free V, Bolt, Shock. We got a bunch of ovals, bunch of road courses. We're going to have some really fun racing next season.
Yes, absolutely we are. The free Vs will kick things off at 8 o'clock, right around the 9 o'clock hour. The Bolt USF 2000 series, and then we're going to round out the night with the Shock Indy Pro 2000s. And by the way, sprint car coverage as well going to continue in the 9 o'clock hour as well. So a doubleheader of live racing action at the same time here every Tuesday night on the National Racing Network. So, Jason, thank you very much for checking in with us here, bud. We really appreciate that. Make sure you get all the plugs in here before you go.
Yeah, first off, I got to thank Chris, National Racing Network Television. Make sure you pound that like and follow and subscribe button on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. Also, got excited for this brand new Extra Life PM18 livery we're going to roll out here in Season 4. It kind of got a star-spangled theme going on and rolling right into Extra Life's game day in November, where I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to stay up and race for 25 hours straight for Extra Life game day to raise some funds for kids in our local Riley Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis. So I think I got all my plugs. Oh, hey, Mom. Love you. And other than that, let's keep it up. Let's build this momentum and keep having some great races next season.
Well, I can tell you exactly what's going to keep you awake for 25 hours. Homestead Coffee.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
officially unofficial coffee of everything we do here.
Oh, yes.
yes.
The official coffee of keeping me awake and actually functional throughout the day, every day.
Imagine
Yes.
functioning during the day. Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
It couldn't be me either, but I certainly try.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, Jason. We appreciate it. And with that, boys, I think we should wrap things up here and get ready to get the heck out of here. There it is, man. The Nürburgring Nordschleife. 12.8 miles, 9,000 corners, and quite frankly, a pretty darn good race. Have to say a big congratulations to Greg Seitz. He is going to claim the overall championship in the Indy Pro 2000 series. How about these numbers, gentlemen? 34 starts over the 8 weeks that he counted. 34 starts, 26 wins, 30 top fives, 27 poles. So an average start of 1, an average finish of 3, and he led 675 of a possible 987 laps. The man is a machine, that is for sure. Frank Wynn looks like he's going to come home second in points. Drop weeks may come into play a little bit here this week at the Nürburgring. Fabio Berchtold third. He was tied with Mitch Green. So that run tonight to second place may have sealed a Division II championship and third overall, for Mitch Green. Everett Paddock was in the 5th position. And then Greg W. Seitz, the alternate account there of Greg Seitz, going to be in the 6th position overall. A couple of other shout-outs here very quickly. Christian Olsen, 25th in points with only 10 incidents over the course of the season. The other one that we saw, Brenton West, coming home 12th in points out of the Australia-New Zealand region. Only 29 incidents over the course of the season. That is pretty darn impressive. But with that, we are going to wrap things up. Not a ton from us next week. It's week 13 on the iRacing platform. Except for Monday night when we're going to do Crownhurst, and that one is going to be an absolute dumpster fire of the most epic proportions. You don't want to miss this race. Jumpy trucks and silver crowns at Bathurst. With that, we're getting out of here. For James Watson and Wes Shire, Connor Baldwin on the camera design, my name is Chris Graham. It's been a pleasure to have you hanging out with us here. We will look forward to talking to you next week. Have a good night, everybody.